What is up, people? People of the internet. It is your host, truly with the most, Rupert Alexander Macias. And I have a video that I am presenting. This is Midnight Card Talks with me. And on tonight's episode, we're going to be discussing some real life shit. Excuse my language. But some things that I want to touch on is the state in which our generation is currently in. And when I say our generation, I'm speaking solely on mine. I'm a 99 baby. I feel like I am big bro and little bro. I feel like I am caught in between my younger generation and my older generation. The people above me and the people below me. The thing that makes my generation so unique is we got a taste of both worlds. We got a taste of life and a childhood without technology influence and with technology influence. That's the difference between those above and those below. My generation is that many kids younger than me are growing up in a society that has so much technological influence, arguably to the extent in which many can debate the iPad has more control over the parent. The videos on the internet have more control and more influence on the children nowadays than the parents. And that a lot of valuable, natural, innate human functions that make up our very way of navigating life, such as how we navigate emotions, how we navigate our feelings, how we navigate communication, how we navigate human interaction, is all now being affected by technology, especially in children in our present day society. The scary thing about these ideas and very much true concerns is that it's dissipating natural core elements that make up humans in our children, and in turn resulting in kids that lack basic human core functions when they get older and realize that they're dealing with problems that only a technological generation influenced kid can say, such as depression, anxiety, suicide, and very, very explicit content being shown and easily accessible to a lot of kids nowadays. Through what? Technology. In what form? A phone, an iPad, computer. The general basis being the internet. And when you eliminate these core functions out of a human, especially a young kid growing up, you can affect them later on in life. So an example being of how technology is influencing our kids more than parents are nowadays would be Say mother and daughter are going to the store. The daughter isn't listening to the mom and throws a fit because the daughter doesn't have the iPad. So the daughter is right away losing it. She wants a toy. She wants to get the toy so bad. The mom doesn't want to buy the toy. So instead, how does she handle the situation? She hands the daughter the iPad. Though in that moment, it may be convenient as a parent to quickly handle the situation by giving them the iPad, because it's the fastest way to neutralize your child. Not neutralize, but kind of handle the situation. You want your kid to calm down, but you don't want to have to address them and explain to them and teach them, because that takes too much time, right? So what's the more convenient thing to do? Pull out the iPad, put something on YouTube, let them play apps, let them surf the internet, let them take selfies, whatever, right? Because once that iPad is handed to them, typically the kind of accessibility they can have on that iPad is the same accessibility that me or you can have. And that is the scary thing, is that it's at their own free will. In this case, resulting in parents not appropriately raising their kids. Rather, the iPad is raising the kid at their own free will, as they please. And what does this mean? The kid gets used to handling situations by nature at this point in a more synthetic way. So instead of understanding why mom said no to the toy, their release is the iPad. Instead of learning and appreciating whatever the lesson would be in that situation, they are immediately wanting to cope with the iPad. In return, you are eliminating essential moments that allow for a kid's brain to develop in a healthier manner. And you're not allowing these experiences for the kid to develop to occur, because you're quickly aiding the problem at bay by putting the iPad as the solution, as opposed to teaching your child what is the right thing and what isn't. Kids nowadays aren't learning growing up anymore. They're not learning how to communicate effectively. They're not learning how to socialize and be comfortable physically socializing with human interaction. It seems like nowadays kids worry about things that they shouldn't worry about. They're not mini adults. Why are they worried about how they look? Perhaps the parent should limit some of that camera time and instill it into more valuable, healing, learning subjects. Kids nowadays don't play outside. They are locked in their rooms, in the four walls, doing as they please on the internet. Nowadays, the music, the videos, the content that you can access is scary. And the fact is, a lot of kids are being influenced by technology that is clearly affecting their minds. Kids should not be worried about anything related to anxiety. As a 10-year-old, anxiety should not exist to you. Why are kids growing up anxious, bipolar, suicidal, immediately exposed to explicit content? Their aspirations are rappers that do drugs, glorify women, in a sexual way and promote that guns is what makes you a badass. Nowadays, kids look up to role models that aren't good role models, but because they want to feel accepted in a society in which the average adult views these people, it now becomes these kids' role models, blasting music that is not at all healthy for your kid to listen to. And then you question why your kid is a certain way when he's 12, when he's 14, when he's 16. I grew up with best of both worlds, and thankfully I had a childhood in which my imagination was stimulated. My creativity was stimulated. I grew up getting roughed up in the dirt, climbing trees, playing with mud, chasing bugs, grabbing bugs, having fun with worms. It was just using my imagination. And I grew up in a certain way with technology and playing video games and staying locked up 24/7. And I have this perception to be able to say that I can say I know what it's like to have influence of life with no technology and a life with technology, that I am honestly scared for the younger generation, the generation below me. I am scared for them. And technology, you cannot stop. We're living in a technological world. But what you can do is be a good parent. And what you can do is to try your absolute best and to say at the end of the day that that is what you did. And with that being said, I feel like things need to change. And I hope that this video sparked some kind of open-mindedness to the idea that technology is not always the solution. Remember, your job and role as a parent is to parent, to teach, to explain, to raise. If there's a problem, don't be lazy. Be a parent. Don't just hand them the phone. Raise them. That is your seed. That is your child. Love them enough to give them that opportunity to grow up knowing how to socialize, knowing how to handle their emotions, knowing how to cope, knowing how to be respectful, knowing how to be polite, knowing how to have a maturity and sense of responsibility. Learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat them to your kids. Much love. Good night.